or the spike has an anchor point to get out of dye. So, hey guys, the Attention Deficit Firefighter here, and I've got what might be the most controversial set of irons in the fire service, and I'd like to talk about them. So guys, this is my personal set of tools, right? This is my BadAxx and my Newark hook, and together they make my weirdo set of irons. I specify that they're mine because my department didn't buy these for me. I'm not sponsored by anybody yet. I spent my own money, my own wages on these tools, and I took the time to make them my own, modify them a little bit to give me the capabilities that I wanted for as little weight as possible. So I'm going to dig into some of those capabilities and hopefully show you guys why this might be the most controversial set of irons, but I think it's probably the most effective set of irons I can come up with. So a quick overview of my irons, right? I have a BadAxx on this side, made together with a little elastic to my Newark hook. Some of you will notice I've got a little bit of foam line here. This is actually the Kel-Tex grip that I cut off of this Newark hook. And I wanted to put it on here to act as a little bit of a spacer. And I'll show that here in a second. The idea for me was I wanted to have a bailout device, so my axe. I wanted to have a striking tool, the axe. I wanted to have a prying tool, and I wanted to be able to do overhaul. And as you can see, this tool kind of fits that description. It's also pretty easy for me to carry since I have the shoulder strap. And this whole thing weighs less than a typical set of irons. These are my favorite tools in this fire service. So let's explore this BadAxx just a little bit. So as you can see, my securement device is just an elastic band with a ball on it. It's actually the same type you would use to secure like a wedge. The tool itself is made out of a tool steel head. I don't know specifically what formulation of steel is used in it yet. I am going to find out. When I got this axe, the head was actually painted black and had a really rough finish on it. So I took all the paint off, put a little bit of sandpaper to it, got the finish where I liked it, did a rust bluing, and I'll do a video later on how to do rust bluing, and then finished it off with a coat of boiled linseed oil. The handle itself, I have the aluminum model. They also make it in hickory. It's secured with 5 roll pins. So far I haven't had an issue with those. Hydrant wrench works in my jurisdiction. On this end, I had to put a grip on it. The cut-in grips that it came with were just awful. They tore up my hands, they tore up my gloves. Not a big fan. So I put my own grip on it. And the pommel down here is the actual clip-in point for using this as an escape device. The idea is I can drive this spike into a floor, or I can use the beard of an axe to catch some OSB, and I'll demonstrate that here in a minute, and use this to get out of an elevated position. I've gotten to play with it a little bit. It's actually difficult to set up good training where I can both destroy a floor and bail out of a window, but I've done the individual pieces on their own. When I get a chance to actually do an evolution like that, believe me, I'm going to record it, and we're going to see if it's actually useful or not. For the time being, I'm willing to stake my life on this axe. So I know I keep calling this an axe, and it does function mostly as an axe. While I'm definitely not going to split any firewood, I can for sure get through doors, plaster and lath, OSB, even regular plywood. So it's a blunt-faced axe, right? If I can get a little closer and show you guys. So all of the force of the swing is coming into this really narrow section. And it's designed so that as you strike materials, it breaks it and sends it over the side rather than trying to cut it. So this axe doesn't get very gummed up. Because this is hardened steel, I also get to use this as a striking tool. So this works just like a maul or a sledge. That's why I can still have a pick head and do the job of a flat-headed axe with an overall lighter package. I get extra functionality compared to a traditional tool that has great strength. And the trade-off, unfortunately, was that I had to buy it myself. So I know what you're thinking. Why would I buy my own tool if my department has perfectly good tools that do exactly the same thing and I don't have to pay for them? My answer very simply is individual pride. I take a lot of pride in my tools. Yeah, I need to clean them, but this is because I've been actually working with these tools. These aren't just checked off once a shift or once a week or once a quarter and cast aside. I come home, I can practice with my tools, I can carry them, I can get used to how I want to carry them. I can really take the time to know and understand exactly how my tools work for me, how they work together, and I also get a little bit of pride when I show up to a volunteer station or when I show up to work bringing my own tools and kind of setting that precedence. And yeah, I got made fun of a little bit when I started. So far, I only get made fun of when guys from work find my YouTube channel. I can work with that one. So you're gonna have to forgive me. We're gonna do a little recording outside, and the region of the country that I'm in currently is infested with fucking cicadas. So I'm gonna do my best to edit some of the cicada noise out. I'm not gonna be able to get it all. I can't stand it either, but it's the world I live in right now, and I gotta record it. This door is already a little beat up, right? I got some replacement doors coming, and I'm gonna take you guys with me when I go to get them. But this is still gonna work to demonstrate how this beard on here is supposed to work. The idea being, if I take and set this axe in here, it'll hold my weight. So imagine that was a piece of OSB or 1-inch plywood, something used as like decking on a roof. That's gonna be my anchor so that I can tie in and get the heck out of town without having to worry about maybe the spike on my Halligan coming loose, or using a Colorado hook or a garbage hook or a trash tool to hold myself on the roof. The same tool that I can use to ventilate the roof, I can use to escape from the roof, and that's important to me. It is worth noting that there are two different ways that this is designed to be used. The beard is designed to be locked in on a vertical or slanted surface, and the spike is designed for flat surfaces like floors. The idea here is that the shank down here creates enough downward force that it pulls the spike further down into the floor, making this secure. On a horizontal or vertical surface like I showed you guys with the door, the beard is what locks into place, and it does a good job of it. If I do have one gripe with this tool though, it's this janky gas wrench. It works great if you have a whole lot of access around the gas shutoff, but in a lot of the houses in my jurisdiction, I can't get this in there and I end up using a pair of vice grips anyway. But beyond that, this is still my favorite fire axe. I don't grab pickhead axes off the truck anymore. I don't grab a flat-headed axe. I try to come off the truck with my axe. If I'm on the engine, this especially fits really well in the webbing of my gear if I don't want to carry both tools. That way I can have this tool with me while I advance a line. Works out pretty well for me. Let me know in the comments what you think. Can you see yourself carrying your own set of weirdo irons? Do you even consider this a set of irons? Can you see yourself buying and carrying your own tools, sowing your own pride in your own stuff out on the fire ground? Let me know down in the comments, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe because the algorithm likes that, and I like the algorithm. Y'all have a good night.